and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for again attending our Women's History Month celebration. This is our final installment. And so for those of you that have been with us throughout the month, I thank you for dedicating your afternoons with us each week. We are one of few organizations that does do a weekly celebration in honor of Women's History Month, and that is something that we are proud of. As each of our featured speakers this month has or is a leader at the Pennsylvania Human Relations Commission, and each of our presentations have followed the theme of empowerment. This month, we've explored the topic of the invisible labor of working mothers. We've discussed global rights issues facing women, and last week, we explored the science of sisterhood. Today, we will round out our month with the Regional Director of Pittsburgh, Dr. LaDawn Robinson, who will be discussing Success Looks Different at Every Stage, Embrace the Journey. Before we begin our program, I want to share with everyone Dr. Robinson's bio. Dr. LaDawn Robinson serves as the Regional Director for the Pittsburgh region. The Pittsburgh Regional Office serves 23 counties in the Commonwealth. Dr. Robinson's role is to manage the daily operations of the office, direct the investigative work of the staff, as well as to conduct outreach and training for the communities in which the office serves. Additionally, this role allows Dr. Robinson to continue her passion for equal employment opportunity in the workplace, specifically the fair treatment that employees' rights are not being violated, but are being respected. Prior to the role of Regional Director, Dr. Robinson devoted over 20 years to the field of human resources, where she served in multiple management roles and led multiple HR functions, such as equal opportunity, affirmative action, talent acquisition, and employee relations. Additionally, Dr. Robinson is a member of an array of committees, councils, and boards that advocate for social justice, equity justice, and diversity, accessibility, and inclusion. She holds a doctorate degree in executive leadership from the University of Charleston, a Master of Science degree in professional leadership from Carlow University, and a Bachelor of Arts degree in psychology from West Virginia University. I am eager to turn the virtual baton over to our featured speaker this afternoon, Dr. Robinson.
Thank you so much, Director Chang. And I first will like to say I'd like to apologize to the audience. I cannot figure out how to set up my presentation where I can actually see faces or names of people. So I'm literally going to be presenting, looking at my own slides. So I do apologize for that. I would like to start off for thanking you for allowing me to host space with you this afternoon for this very powerful month of recognizing women. And I would like to give a special acknowledgement to the powerful presenters before me, Cheryl Meck, who is the Civil Outreach Director, Tamara Cope, who is the Hearing Examiner, and Desiree Chang, who's the Director of Education and Outreach. It's been a pleasure collaborating with you and making the PHRC Women's History Month 2025 a success. These women and all of the women at the PHRC, I'd like to thank you for your continued dedication, your commitment to the work that we do. Your excellence has been an inspiration to me, and I am honored to work with you on this journey to continue to uphold social justice and human rights in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So when I was asked to be a speaker for the PHRC Women's History Month 2025, I was extremely excited and honored to participate, but quickly anxiety flooded my mind because I began thinking about what topic would be interesting, what topic would be informative to share, and could I actually rise to the occasion? Because I consider myself a late bloomer. And some folks may be surprised of that, and some folks may see that as a failure, but I celebrate that reference. And the reason why is because I will be 55 years old in 3 weeks. And I'm here to say that I have put in the work, I have embraced my lived experiences, some great, some not so great, but I'm here, and I can say that it does get greater later because it's never too late to bloom. As I reflect on my past experiences, it came to me that I was always blooming, but it just looked different. It looked different in my 20s. Blooming looked different in my 30s, 40s, and blooming looks different now. And what I saw as mistakes was just another part of my story. But yet, I thought about if I had the opportunity to travel back to the various stages and ages in my life, what would I say? What advice would I give to the younger LaDawn? What do I wish to have known as I flounder through my 20s, 30s, and 40s? So today I'm going to share with you my discovery about the advice women would give to their younger selves. Now, asking this question, what would you tell your younger self, is a powerful question because it bridges the gap between past and present, allowing for self-reflection and growth. This question also encourages you to think about lessons you've learned, triumphs you've achieved, and moments when you overcame challenges. But it's not just about addressing regrets and mistakes. It's about celebrating resilience and recognizing how far you've come. This question also taps into the empathy for your younger self and others. It reminds you of who you were, what you dreamed of, and what mattered most in different points in your life. It can also inspire gratitude for the wisdom you've gained and help clarify what you value most moving forward. So as I delved into the topic, I identified a few common themes. So today we're going to briefly summarize each theme, share some supporting statements from very wise women with these themes, and provide you with quotes of encouragement and support in relation to each theme. Self-worth and no more settling. So the key message around this thing for me that is we often worry so much about what others think of us that we carry around this invisible weight and inadvertently gives this weight power, or so we believe. So we start to believe that we are not enough. Then we bend, we twist and turn to fit into this box or an image that's been put out there to be the best and the greatest spouse, the greatest mother, and the title of the best friend. And then we end up losing ourselves in the process. So the wise women shared some supporting statements for this common theme. They want you to know that you are enough. Stop worrying about what others think of you. Do not rely on external validation and trust your worth. And my quote of affirmation that I would like to share that you can say every day is that I have endless potential and can succeed in anything I set my mind to. Because you are enough and you are the one living your life and you hold the pen that writes your story. The second theme is to take risks. Don't be afraid. Now, the key message around this theme is, why are people afraid of fear? Again, why are people afraid of fear? Now, fear often stems from the unknown or the anticipation of pain, failure, or loss. But being afraid of fear itself is something deeper. It's the anxiety over feeling vulnerable, out of control, or even powerless. Fear can be intense and unpredictable, making people uncomfortable with how it might disrupt their lives or cloud their judgment. It's like fear is fearing the emotion more than the actual cause or situation itself. But fear is not always a bad thing. It often is the start of something new. So you should step outside your comfort zone. Don't let fear hold you back. Encourage its fear in action. And my affirmation quote to you, you can say, I am courageous and I am prepared. Because you want to embrace the uncertainty and pursue what sets your soul on fire. Because life is filled with twists, turns, and the unknowns. But that's where growth happens. That is where experience happens. So allow yourself to take chances, make those mistakes, embrace those mistakes, and learn along the way. Because sometimes you just have to take that leap and build your wings on the way down, because you can and will fly. Now, the third theme was resilience. The takeaway from this theme is that resilience is what shapes you. It is in every challenge you overcome and every moment you choose to keep going. It is your ability to rise defines not only who you are, but also who you're becoming. Resilience says it is okay to fall. It's how you rise that defines you. Failures are the stepping stones to success, and storms may come, bend, but don't you dare break. So my affirmation quote for you that you can say daily is that I am braver than I believe, stronger than I seem, and smarter than I think. Let your resilience inspire you to dream bigger, love deeper, and face the future with courage. The fourth common theme, self-care and balance. Now, this message or key takeaway would be you cannot pour from an empty cup. We've all heard this. You can't give your best to others, whether it's love, support, or effort, if you're running on empty yourself. You must put self-care as a priority and ensure your own well-being before trying to take care of anyone else. As the slide says, make yourself a priority, set boundaries, invest in self-care, and honor your needs. Because putting yourself first empowers every aspect of your life to flourish. But as I was crafting this slide and putting yourself first, my initial direction is that I was going to, give you suggestions on how to fill your cup, such as examples of how you can find rest and different hobbies you can do, and perhaps meditation exercises. But then I recalled a conversation that I had with a dear friend. And this dear friend often, then they should, think of themselves last. And during our conversation, I just said haphazardly, I said, you need to learn the art of saying no. And I did some research on that, and there's actually a book. And this is a real book that you can purchase on Amazon or Audible, anything like that, that will talk about the art of saying no is mastering how you protect your time, your energy, your mental health and physical health to avoid burnout and allow you time to refill your cup. But being able to say no in a present and honoring way to whomever you are addressing is indeed an art. The art of saying no is being aware of what is best for you or the organization and maintaining your value and ethics. It is being aware of how your no is protecting what you value. And finally, the art of saying no is about stepping forward and changing what does not work for you individually or the organization, and asking yourself what is really important here, now and in the future. So the formula for art of saying no is maintaining, protecting, and changing. When you consider these three things in delivering your no, you can craft a no that brings about understanding and respect. For example, thank you for thinking of me, but I am unable to commit to this right now. It's one way to say no. Another way is I appreciate the opportunity, I would really like to help you, but I have so many priorities and I will not be able to fully commit. Or if you're someone that's, straight, straight chasing no, you want to stay true to your reason for saying no, okay, be polite, respectful, and professional. So that's a little bit of a twist because I believe in the art of saying no. If you want to be able to, stay energized and be able to flourish. And an affirmation quote that I will share for this particular theme is I care about myself and worthy of rest. I can do it all, but not all at once. So as I continue to think about, uh, you know, what would I tell my younger self? And I decided I want to reach out to 7 extraordinary women. And these 7 extraordinary women were courageous enough to expose their vulnerability and share their advice to their younger selves. Now, I am going to read each reflection because their words of wisdom are deserving to be heard out loud by others. I hope I do them justice. Chrissy would tell her younger self, don't be afraid to ask for what you want or deserve. Whether you're looking for more money or time off or work flexibility, ask for it. The worst that can happen is you're told no. You see, I think my younger self was shy and lacked the confidence to ask for what I wanted. But I am no longer afraid to ask for anything. But I think that confidence came with experience. Renee would tell her younger self, recognize healthy love and relationships. This would include recognizing traps of abusers and warning my younger self about not losing or giving my self-worth away to takers, narcissists, etc., for coping, thrills, rebellion, or whatever other motivation may exist. Nicole would tell her younger self, you have natural traits that others will envy in the workplace. Do not let them project their deficiencies and self-doubt onto you. Let this drive you to shine even brighter. Thank you, Chrissy, Renee, and Nicole for sharing your words of wisdom to your younger selves. Caroline would tell her younger self, Lenny, dear Lenny, I promise you, our only regrets will be the times we bear down and crumple up our soul trying to fit someone else's role or opinion of us. Find our inner voice even when it's screaming, I can't go along with this for myself. Or follow society's navigation system powered by the expectations of others to reroute away from our own off-road, uncleared path full of the brambles of the unknown, and back to the well-trodden, straight, street-lit highway of those who knows what's best for you. Of course, you're in the mid-1970s and you're thinking, what's GPS? Don't worry, you're smart, brave, and you will figure it all out. That path is the life we will make, and along it we will find experiences like wildflowers we could not have gathered on the standard route. I love you, and I want you to as well. No matter what circumstances life will bring, always remember to love you with the same fierce and unabashed love you give to those you surround yourself with. Caroline, thank you for sharing your words of wisdom to your younger self. Kim would tell her younger self, you deserve to be here. Don't let others make you feel otherwise. Build a team with individuals that complement your strengths, support each other, challenge each other, encourage one another. Iron sharpens iron. Danita would tell her younger self, Education is important. Be wise with money and learn how to budget and save as much money as you can. Don't make rash decisions and think about what you are about to do. There are some things that will happen and you cannot change them. Learn to accept them. Kim and Danita, I thank you for sharing your words of wisdom to your younger selves. And last, Holleen would tell her younger self, goals are very important in life, and it's important for young minority women to know that we must do even better than our peers to be successful. You see, our parents are teaching you much about education because it can never be taken from you. You don't want anything holding you back in life. It's going to be hard, but don't give up. You see, I am a school counselor in your future, and I want my students to feel empowered. When I walk into a classroom, the students say a pledge that I wrote for them. They say it loud and together as a group. We are smart, we are powerful, we can do anything that we set our minds to do, we can succeed. You see, not every child like you will hear inspiring words like this in their homes. For those children who will not, they will certainly hear it from me. Holleen, thank you for sharing your words of wisdom to your younger self. And then finally, what would I tell my younger self? At different stages in my life, I would say, don't forget your own strength. You fell before and you got back up. You took small steps before your successes. You crawled before you walked, and you walked before you ran. You deserve the life that you desire. Let no one tell you different, but change is inevitable. Embrace the change. And where I am at now in my life, I would say the woman you are becoming will cost you people, relationships, and material things. Choose her over everything. Now, I recommend everyone asking themselves this question. And there's an exercise that you can do, and I did this exercise as well, that can help you determine what you like to say to your younger self. So you would close your eyes and you would picture your younger self. It can be at any age, but let it be a happy memory at that age. And if you can't think of a happy memory, make one up. But next, you visualize the image, and you, as you are now, your adult self should arrive in that scene. You are part of that happy scene. Now, fully soak in the details, fully soak in the energy of that vision. Then simply ask yourself, what do I want to tell my younger self? Now, when I did this, I was flooded with emotions. So be prepared to be flooded with emotions, feelings, and words. And once I gathered myself and figured out what I would want to tell my younger self, you go to a mirror, or if you have a cell phone, selfie camera, you can use that as well. And you share those words of wisdom and advice to your younger self. You may ask, well, what's the purpose of this exercise or the goal? The goal is for us to remember who we really are, our essence, and to remember to treat our adult self as we treated our younger, happier self. So my closing thoughts about this is for you to embrace your journey of growth. Every challenge, every joy, every lesson has shaped the beautiful souls that you are today. Sometimes we get so distraught about the chapters that have been written about our lives that we let them distract us from what's to come. Please remember that your story is still being written. It is a book waiting for the chapters to be filled. So that concludes my presentation, and I thank you for listening to my presentation, and I invite you to ask me any questions or share your own advice to your younger self. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Robinson. I will wait to see. Please, we have a lot of time, so please, drop any comments in the chat if you have any thoughts that you want to share. Please feel free to come off of chat, off of mute, and share those. Mary Ellen put in the heart with the bow. Mariah said, I love this activity. This is awesome. I had taken a couple of notes. I love affirmations while we wait for any other comments. And I liked a few that you had. You hold the pen that writes your story. I really like that one because I think so often we feel like life takes over in ways that are beyond our control, but in ways that we also feel like we can't regain that control or that we have no sense of what's happening to us. But like your quote says, it is our life. We have control over that pen and how we want the narrative to be. So I really liked that.
I saw a question. I think someone asked, how do you get to the point of you are enough?
Yes, Director Damon asked that question.
Okay. That's a very good question. And I will say for me, it's a process. It's where I have to learn my value, understand that what I bring to the table, I value. So it's all around self-worth for me, and not allowing anyone to move me out that space. And they do. Trust me, I still struggle with people saying things to me that make me doubt. And I get caught up in the why. Like, why would you say that? Why would you do that? And the thing about it for me is I try to learn to let go, because I try not to start getting myself where I'm spinning in place, keep thinking about it over and over and over, where it all of a sudden becomes attached to you and you are carrying that around. For me, I do a lot of affirmations like Director Chang. I meditate quite a bit, and I research it and see what other folks are struggling with, to where you get to the point that where you are enough. And for me, it's just self-worth.
Thank you. Wendy says, thank you for sharing your story. I'm also a late bloomer and for years felt shame because I wasn't sure about the direction of my life. I've learned it's okay, and I plan to make sure the children in my life know this as well.
Yeah, people, and sometimes it's not with ill intent. They ask the questions, for me, you're not married yet, that question, or you don't have children at that time, and that making you feel like you are less than because you're not at a certain point in life where they believe you should be. So that can be, and like I said, sometimes they probably mean well, but for me, my personality is, I come back like I clap back slightly, and then they stop asking.
There's lots of applause emojis and laughing emojis of that. I always appreciate a good clap back. So.
Yes, exactly.
Director Eister said, so many wonderful affirmations throughout. Her favorite may be "It gets greater later," and the deep truth in what we are becoming costs us, but it's all worth becoming, quote unquote, her.
Yeah. But I heard that greater later. I was like, oh, I like
that. O.C. Mellinger said, thank you, Dr. Robinson. I love the image of not allowing comments to stick to you or become part of you. I liked that when you said stuck in place spinning. I got the visual of a top, and that is such an accurate description of like people that are really in their mind and reflecting a lot on things, on one of those. And so I appreciated that because I feel like that was exactly like my experience sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amanda Martin said, separate feelings from facts. That helps her with imposter syndrome. And if she
Mm,
doesn't feel like she's meeting a societal norm, she also thanked you for the presentation. Mila from mediation said, it's challenging to not compare ourselves to others and be at peace that we are each on our journey without a set timeline. I think that's amazing. And that's so true.
mm.
Cherry said from your office that how lucky they are to have you as a leader. How lucky we are to have her at the PHRC.
Thank you. Thank you.
One
So
of the things I
reflections
jotted.
is, go ahead.
No, no, go ahead.
Oh, no. Reflections for me is just something that I just always done. I've always, even at the end of the day, I sit down and I reflect and say, okay, what went well, what didn't go so great, why, what could I have done better? And even sometimes if something didn't go well, and I would say to myself, would I have changed anything I had done? And I'm like, no. So it didn't go well, but I stand in my truth that this is where I made the decision. But I will say that came with time. And I think the one lady reflection said, I think it was Chrissy, said that confidence came through experience and came through time.
Yeah.
It definitely, it definitely does. Where you get to the point that it's okay. It's okay if they don't like me. They're missing out. you know, or just not to. You put things in, priority. And not that you don't care. No one wants to be not liked, but my mom used to tell me just be very mindful of where it's coming from. Who's saying those things about you, or and again, that took some time, to appreciate that. So I know the presentation was short, but I was just hoping to give some good nuggets for people and and for women that are in a certain season of their lives, like me, that it gets greater later. We do look back and to say, what would we tell our teen selves, our 20s, our 30s or 40s, and we look back and we worried about so many things and said, I can't even believe I was flipping out over that, back in the day, or or that person back in the day, and just say, wow. But I wouldn't change a thing. It made me who I am right now, and I
I think
like who I am.
we do too.
Thank you.
I think I think your reflections, I liked those, and one of the women that, and I apologize, I can't recall which one because I was jotting down notes from everyone's statement. But one of the women that you interviewed said, she uses the reflections and the things, the lessons that she would tell her younger self to tell to the other younger people in her world. And I think that's what was making me think about last week's presentation on the science of sisterhood. And that was kind of where I was thinking that, you know, I'm younger than you, but we've had conversations that you've given me those insights that, we can't go back in time and guide ourselves. Hindsight is 2020, but we have this opportunity to build connections, and in particular with women, sisterhoods, to be able to make the way for the next person, the next woman, just a little bit less bumpy. And I
Right.
feel like, even in my circle, we're doing it with the girls in our group, and they're still young, 6, 7, 8, 13, 14. But that is that beauty of seeing the value in sisterhood and guiding the way and supporting each other regardless of season, right? Um,
Absolutely.
so I
Absolutely.
love,
Right. I have some close friends. One of my circle of friends, and it's a few years ago, and we were together, and we thought about it. And I met them. I think I was, I don't know, 20, 28 maybe. And we realized that at 28, my next friend was 13 years older than me, and our other friend was 13 years older than her. We were all in three different generations hanging out for like 30 years,
Wow.
and but you didn't know it. And I recall times that I was always the little sister, so they would reel me back in and like, set me straight. And but it was just really nice to know that we have been together for like 30 years, and it's three different generations.
Yeah.
Now I used to. Here's a funny. We would go out. My one friend would put on her glasses to read the menu, and I would laugh at her. And then I'm like, I'm putting on my glasses now.
It's gone
And she's
full
laughing
circle
at
for
me.
you.
Yeah. Oh, I can't see the menu. I need my glasses.
Director
So it's just,
Eister said every stage is a gift and we should look forward to each stage. And I think Director Eister is such a great example in this whole month because, being the mother of four women, four
yes.
girls, that's such an incredible um experience, but I can't imagine the weight, because you have to see each one of those girls as their individual self. And so I think about her a lot throughout this month. Director Eister, you've been on my mind quite a bit, just imagining what that might look like for you. But how beautiful it could be as well, with your girls, with their individual bonds, and then your collective bond, with all five of you. So it's very cool.
Yes, definitely. But it's been a beautiful month, and you did say at the beginning, I believe as you said at the beginning, that this is something that the PHRC is very unique in doing. That each week we celebrate, Women's History Month. We did it last year, doing it this year, and I really do not know any other organization or company that does this. They might have one big event in the month of March, but it's never, at least I'm not aware of anything that goes on weekly like this at this
Yeah,
level.
I agree. I think
So I
it's needed.
appreciate
We've had four completely different topics, all under the umbrella of empowerment. But it really is, I think, an opportunity to feel seen and feel heard in our various identities. While some
Mhm.
of us are not mothers, but we've had a topic about motherhood. Some of us, may not have juggled or worn the same hats or be at different stages of life. And that's the beautiful thing is you can be inspired and empowered through all of these different opportunities for connection. So I agree. We've done it. I think this is our third year having a monthly or a weekly feature the entire month. And I know, as far as I know, we intend to do it again next year. So it's something I look forward to every year.
That's great. It's very unique. And like you said, you can bloom. And people, we are blooming. We just don't know it until you look back and say, I was doing, pretty good. Everything was working out. I mean, nothing goes, without some challenges. That's life. That's what like life is filled with twists and turns and things like that. And I really did. I love imagery. That's when I do presentations, I like some people process things a little bit differently. Some people like images they can take away. They may remember that the little bird, getting ready to fly off the cliff, and say sometimes you got to build your wings while you're, going down. They might not remember the affirmation or the supporting statements, but they may remember the image of the little bird. I think it's a sparrow or something. But and then about fear. I thought that was real interesting, that people are afraid of fear. And so they won't step out their comfort zone. And
Yeah.
people hear like, do it afraid. That's what courage is. Courage is fear in action. Do it afraid. I had to learn that because we all have fear. You know, um, I was fearful doing this presentation. I was fearful. I had fear.
It's so funny that you said that at the beginning. One, I would have known because I think you rise to every challenge that is presented
No,
without
thank
any
you.
hesitation. So nobody would have ever known that you had any apprehension to it. But I think your voice was perfect to finish off our month. A couple
Thank
more
you.
comments. Um, Patrice said thank you to the PHRC for offering these talks. She came late to the party, but she's been able to grab little gems for the past few weeks. Um, and I see Director Eister, you have your hand up, so please come off of mute.
Hi, my apologies. I'm traveling, so I wasn't able to comment uh, a few moments ago, but thank you, Director Chang. You as well inspire us all here at PHRC as someone who balances family and work so gracefully. And if you feel stress, we never see it. And I just also wanted to comment, Dr. Robinson, thank you so much. This was such a moving and truthful presentation. And I think we all more than could relate to the beautiful examples you gave, but most of all, your story was so moving. I just love what you said about what we give up is worth it. It's like the sculptor carving away at the stone to make the beautiful statue of our own Venus or whatever our image would be. So I just wanted to come off and definitely thank you both. And uh, this has been a wonderful. I know that I'm biased working for PHRC, but no, I love that PHRC does this every March. It's
Thank you. When I read, well,
so
first
much
off,
the women that we partner with.
oh, she said something? I'm sorry. Okay. When I asked the seven women when I asked that question, I mean, I just was like, oh, would what would you tell your younger self? I'm doing this presentation, you can, if you want to share with me, you can. If you don't want to, that's fine. And they all was like, oh, wow. I mean, they really just took it, and I'm like, well, how deep is this question, right? And so I got the statements back, and when I read through it the first time, I said, oh my gosh, I hope I don't start crying when I start reading this to the audience, because it was very moving, because I actually know all of them. And when I say that they were being vulnerable, and so I could use my voice a little bit because I could hear them, because I know them and I know how they speak, and I understood what position they were coming from. So I knew kind of how to use my voice a little bit to bring to life what they were sharing with their younger selves.
Yeah, I was going to ask if they were personal individuals to you that you had asked. So thank you for sharing that.
So you're welcome.
Director Brothman, we do have a couple minutes left, so I'll just give a few more seconds here to see if anyone has any other final comments or thoughts. If there are any upcoming initiatives or features that you'd like to share with the audience, then please feel free.
Yeah, I'll just say a reminder to everyone that tomorrow we have our monthly Fair Housing and Power Hour, Fair Housing and Families. And then next month, and actually just in 2.5 weeks, we have our Fair Housing, oh wait, it's Tuesday, so 2 weeks from today, our Fair Housing Conference in Pittsburgh. So if you would like any information about those events, I will throw a link in the chat for all of our upcoming events.
Thank you, Director Brothman. So we're ending a couple minutes early. You have 10 minutes to get back of your time. This has been our final feature for the 2025 Women's History Month celebration. Again, I thank you to everyone who has joined us each week or as your time has permitted throughout this month. We do appreciate everyone's attendance at all of our events, be it virtual or in person. We understand time is valuable, and so you sharing any of your time with us is not lost on us. If you don't already, as Director Brothman had mentioned, please follow our social media pages and all of the platforms so that you're able to stay up to date on all of the events and initiatives that we're doing within all of the PHRC divisions. And with that, just a special thank you to Dr. Robinson for agreeing to be a part of the monthly celebration and also being our last but absolutely not least feature for the month.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you everyone for, again, allowing me to hold space with you this afternoon. I truly do appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good afternoon.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.